Hello everyone and welcome to Rockingham, North Carolina. We are here for the 12th race of season number 5 of the AKG Cup Series for the Rheem 300 here at the Rock. And after this race, there will only be 4 races left before the chase begins. So this race is a critical one for those fighting around the bubble positions and for those who are fighting for the best possible position within the chase grid, and we'll see who comes out on top today. Tristan Allen comes into this race as the points leader by 13 points over Julio Caesar, 32 ahead of Kean Rowley, and 36 over Dawson Miller, who starts on the front row for today's race. Is the winner of this race a year ago and won last time out at Pocono, so good signs for him here this weekend. He's got a really fast DoorDash Hardy's number 48. And as it stands right now, from Tristan Allen on down to about Henry Gore, who's 12th in points, they're all pretty safe in terms of their current positions. They're safe in terms of making it in, but that can change potentially with a bad result today for the guys like Gore, who are closer to the cutoff. But the real battles for the last 4 chase spots right now all could be completely flipped by the end of today. Colin Denton 24 points ahead. He's 13th in points. Simon Nichols, who's on the pole, 21 points ahead. Richard Fridge, who has only entered the top 16 in points for the first time this season after a good result at Pocono last week. He is 6 points ahead. And Kelly Lee and Mitchell Collins are currently tied with Lee. With each other, I should say. And Lee holds the tiebreaker at the moment. So that's for the final position in the chase standings. So Lee getting the tiebreaker because of a second place finish earlier this season at Las Vegas. And then behind them you got Noah Clifton 2 points back, Jamie Rose 8 points back, Cody Smart 13 back, William Brock 17 back, and Renan Asip 25 back. And all those guys are currently within a race of 16th in points. So it is it's a big day for them. And you know, there's the guys that are within striking distance of the chase grid, but it's not like, you know, it's not to say that anyone like guys like Sakama Yassi, Charlie Davenport, Christian Vargas, you know, they're over a race back, but it's not to say they're not completely out of it just yet, but they need to have a good run today. We'll be racing for 79 laps here at the Rock and do expect some chaos and potentially pit stops coming into play later on. We'll get to the starting lineup, which will roll on the bottom of your screen as always. And for the first time in his career, it's Simon Nichols on the pole. Needs a good run today, and joining him, Pocono winner last week and the defending Rheem 300 winner, Dawson Miller. Row 2, Alexander Rowe looking for his 4th win of the season. Julio Caesar comes into this race second in the points. Brandon Bent comes into this race with 3 consecutive top 2 finishes. He starts 5th, with Jack Porkins, his former teammate, starting alongside. Row 4, you got Tristan Allen, the Season 1 Rockingham winner and the points leader. And joining him, rookie Zakoma Yassi with his best ever start in the series. Row 5, Benny Watson in the number 96, second here in Seasons 1 and 2, looking to rebound after a disappointing race last week. And Jake Rogers, the Texas winner. Row number 6, Kean Rowley comes into this race 3rd in the points, could well take the points lead after today. And William Brock also looking to rebound after Pocono. Row number 7, Noah Clifton is 2 points out of a chase spot right now. He starts from 13th, and Henry Gore, the Season 2 Rockingham winner, will join him on the 7th row. Row 8, Charlie Davenport, back-to-back top 15 finishes the last 2 races, and Trey Wright is the highest of the go or go homers. Row 9, Colin Denton comes into this race 29 above the cutoff, and another go or go homer. It's Austin Johnson in number 66, and rounding out the top 20, Brandon Nelson, the highest Smart Motorsports car in the field, another go homer. And Mitchell Collins comes into this race tied with Kelly Lee for the last chase spot, and he needs a good run today. You'll see the rest of the starting lineup rolling across your screen right now. As mentioned before, 79 laps long, about 80 miles in distance. And Rockingham is always an interesting track because it has heavier tyre wear than any track on the schedule. And these tyres they do fall off really quickly at times. But I don't know if we'll see it as bad as we have in previous years today. But do expect it to come into play in terms of determining who will end up winning this race. Big race today. 12th race of the year. After this one, we got 4 races left. And we will be approaching the halfway mark of this season. It's taken a while to get to this point, but here we are. We're getting very, very close to it. Race info, race 12 of 26, 79 laps. 2 to 3-ish pit stops, I reckon, in this race. And, of course, a high caution probability as well. Pace cars on pit road. And it's the Nicotech teammates, Simon Nichols and Dawson Miller, who will lead us to the green. And the green flag is out, and we are underway here at Rockingham. Oh, we got trouble at the back already. It's the 12 of Natavio into the inside wall with Lorenz Maga and Nonigan Scott. Caution is out for the first time. There is the 12 and the 78. Both with heavy damage. Nichols won the race back to the line. We didn't even make it halfway through the opening lap before something happened. So, a tough break there. Let's take a look what happened to trigger the first caution of the day. It'll be 3 wide through turns 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway. Kelly Lee to the inside of Nathan Ormond and Billy Natavian. You see Nonigan Scott on the outside as well. And both the 12 and the 78 and the 36 you see is 3 wide back there. They all bounce off the wall. The 36 keeps it straight, but Natavio bounces down into Derek Hamill. Scott bounces down into Addison Steinbach. Jack Halleck gets a piece of it there in the 16. And then Scott comes back down the racetrack, collects Carter Friesen just a bit, Jamie Rose a little bit. Christian Vargas just barely gets clipped there, and then hard into the inside wall with the front left for Billy Natavio. And you saw Lorenz Maga also getting a little piece in that. But really, most of those guys should be alright, with the exception of the 78 and the 12. They took the most damage there, and pretty much out of it already is... Here's a real-time replay. Right there. Big hit for Natavio in the 12. It's not been his year, and it hasn't been Nonigan Scott's for that either. And a tough break for both those guys involved, and especially Natavio, who wants to try and make his way back into the top 35 in owner points. Anyways, Simon Nichols is the race leader. We'll take you back to the restart. Simon Nichols, the race leader. He'll be leading us back to the green in our first restart of the day. He's followed by Dawson Miller in the 48. He's in second. And Alexander Rowe in the third position. Everyone's still out on the racetrack, but of course, a couple of guys with damage. Mainly Natavio and Nonigan Scott in particular. But they are going to be able to try and salvage some points. But neither of those guys, of course, in chase contention. Nichols, we mentioned before, of course, comes into this race kind of close to the cut line. 21 points, I think it was, off the top of my head coming in. So, needs a good run today to really put himself in a position to challenge. Or is it 24? I've actually got the confused. It's either 21 or 24, but he's relatively close to the cut line. And right now, leading this race, leading us back to the green is a good sign for number 3. Green flag is back out. We're underway for the first restart of the day. And Rowe has gone to the inside. Julio Cesar hits the wall on the outside and loses the 4th position. But Rowe could not get past Dawson Miller there, so still the same order for the top 3, pretty much from the word go. Brandon Bent's in 4th. He's in the 27. Julio Cesar in 5th. And Brandon Bent, of course, coming into this race with 3 consecutive top 2 finishes. So starting to get back to his best. And what has been a relatively tough start to the season for him. But, of course, those 3 top 2 finishes will certainly helped him out a lot. In number 27, currently running in the 4th position behind Alexander Rowe, Dawson Miller, and our leader, Simon Nichols, in the gear wrench number 3. Miller looking for back-to-back wins here at Rockingham, back-to-back wins on the season, of course, coming off that win last time out at Pocono. There's Rowe, then Bent. Julio Caesar, Jack Porkins in the 71. He's in the 6th position. Trisnell and Benny Watson, Keen Rowley and Jake Rogers round out the top 10. That's a very, very fast top 10. Very talented group of 10 drivers right there. And Nichols continues to lead. He's led all 9 laps so far. But Miller under a lot of pressure here from Alexander Rowe, looking for his 4th win of the year. He's all over the back of the number 48, although he had to get out of it just a bit and just kind of give Miller a little bit of space there. He didn't want to run into the back of him in the turn. But, Nichols now still with a decent side gap, but not perfect yet, as you see back in here, back to the 4th position. Caesar to the inside of Brandon Bent. Brandon Bent tries to close the door, but he couldn't quite. Caesar hangs in there on that inside lane as we got another yellow on the racetrack. And it's Renan Asip, who's gone around. He was 25 points outside, and we got more. Yepes and Christian Vargas also around in turns 3 and 4, and that is Asip running into the 47. Lots of damage on the 88, lots of damage on the 47. A big time crash in turns 3 and 4. The second yellow of the day. And we're going to have our first lot of pit stops in this race. As you see, Brandon Bent's got front end damage there. That's a fair bit of front end damage. So I think he might have run into Alexander Rowe there on the cooldown, maybe? I guess, I don't know. But he's got a lot of damage, and Renan Asip also has a lot of damage in the 88. His day's done. He was stopped on the inside, but look at the damage. He's got right side too, so I feel like there's something could have happened here to Brandon Bent maybe, under the yellow. Because he's got the outside wall as well. I think he's got the outside wall, because you see the right side damage as well, so very weird. And Miller gets Nichols off pit road. So we have a change for the lead. And Nicotech teammates swapping positions. Miller over Nichols and then Rowe. That's your top 3. And you see there's the 98 and the 10 going by. They'll be 4th and 5th, Rogers and Rowley. But not sure what happened to Brandon Bent. We'll figure that one out. We'll take a look what happened to trigger the second caution of the day. So there are 2 separate accidents here that we'll need to take a look at. But this is what triggered the yellow. And Cody Smart is 3 wide on the outside. He bounces off the wall, comes down into Renan Asip, who goes down into Kelly Lee. And Kelly Lee, you see Asip spinning down the racetrack, but Kelly Lee pounds the outside wall with the right side. And then Cody Smart finishes her off by turning her to the bottom of the racetrack. And everyone here gets through relatively okay. You see Yepes gets through there on the inside lane, but of course that's where the trouble begins for Yepes. He gets through that, but does not get through this because he goes onto the apron, comes back up, and Christian Vargas is there, nowhere to go. They slide up the racetrack, collect Ryan Benjamin, although Benjamin got away with it somehow. Kept it straight. These guys did not, and into the wall. For both Vargas and Yepes, both started at the very rear of this race, and you see Lee getting by on the inside in the 76, and then this is Renan Asip is going to go to the apron here, I think, to try and avoid the 47. And the 40, I see the 43 is already driving away. The 47 is just starting to get himself turned around. Then goes back up onto the racetrack just a little bit, back onto the apron, a little bit of too much indecision, and pow, right into the 47. Yepes destroys the left rear of the 47, takes the whole left rear corner out of that car, and takes the whole right front corner out of the 88 machine. And you see Natavio and not a good Scott getting through in the middle, but this is real time. We're going to follow with Kelly Lee here. Just gets the outside wall. Then we go up ahead a bit. There's that. Yeah. Into the wall. And it is a fair while before Asip actually comes onto the scene. Right there. And he came in very quick too. and took him out on the spot. That's a tough break for him and for Yepes and Christian Vargas and Kelly Lee as well. But let's take a look at what happened under the yellow to Brandon Bent. So these guys were battling for 4th position. Now they've already gone past the start-finish line. The yellow is out, and these guys are slowing down. Bent's on the outside, Caesar on the inside, but it's Pawkins who actually starts all this because he gets into the left rear, of Julio Caesar and sends him up the track into Brandon Bent and into the wall. Big time hit for both the 25 and the 27. You see the 71 of Pawkins did not get through that cleanly. Benny Watson back in there, Tristan Allen getting a piece of it too. It's just a mess on the back straightaway. There's Watson getting a bit more damage in the 96 and then Allen running into Pawkins. But look at the damage on the 27 of Brandon Bent. The subway Ford looks like he will not finish in the top 2 today. And you see all these guys are stacking up. And a lot of guys now with a lot of damage. Stapleton in the 97 in particular got a fair chunk of that. Back in there, Brandon Nelson in the 44. Dominic Anthony in the 39, who started a bit further back than he wanted. But also getting a fair chunk of the damage. And here's an onboard with Julio Caesar. And definite contact between he and the 71 of Pawkins, causing that accident. And here's Pawkins' view. He just gets collected on the right side there and then gets a little bit more from Tristan Allen in the process. That will probably hinder the 71, not as much as it will hinder this guy, Brandon Bent, and the 25 of Caesar. That is a massive hit. Oh, right side of the car off the ground on impact. And here's a look at real time. You see the yellow is out. And these guys are slowing down. So, yeah, well. That's a big time hit for the 25 and the 27. Both cars completely destroyed. And all those guys sliding in back there, just not being able to slow down in time. And that's a bad break for Caesar. Came into this race second in points with a chance to take the points lead. Looks like that won't happen. And Brandon Bent as well, who came in with a lot of momentum into this one, and now he is pretty much done early on. Dawson Miller in the number 48 took the lead away from his teammate Simon Nichols on pit road. He will lead us back to the green for the second restart. Coming back to the green this time, Dawson Miller took the lead away from Simon Nichols under the yellow flag there, under the pit stops. He is now the leader. Nichols in second. Alexander Rowe is in third, followed by Jake Rogers in the 98 and Kian Raleigh in the number 10. That's your top 5. And Brandon Bent and Julio Caesar, their days are done, as is Renan Asip as well. So for the 25 and the 27, of course, they're both in the top 16. Caesar's pretty comfortable. He doesn't really need to worry about it. He's not going to miss out on the chase. And Brandon Bent's pretty safe too, but for Asip, that is a massive blow for the 88 team. Came into this race 25 points behind the cutoff, and now looks like he will lose a lot of ground on 16th. Pace cars on pit road. Second restart of the day, and it's Miller from Nichols. We are underway once again. And a pretty good restart there for Dawson Miller. Got a little bit of a gap there, as you see Rowe tried to make a move in the 51. Not quite close enough to make it happen. And off of turn 4 to the stripe, Dawson Miller will lead that lap. Look back in here, Rogers is in the 4th position. Nottingham Scott, of course, is a lap down, involved in the first yellow of the day. Kian Raleigh in 5th, Zakomo Yassi in 6th. He's having a very good run. Had a great qualifying position. Someone stopped on the apron. I don't know who that is, but someone was stopped, and it's Yepes. It's Yepes. He's actually not stopped. He's barely moving. And that may be a mechanical failure. So that may be the end of Yepes, who already the left rear is completely torn out of it, but no caution. We stay green, which is good to see, but back to Yassi. Started 8th, currently under a lot of pressure. That's Tristan Allen, that is for the 7th position. He's got his teammate Noah Clifton ahead of him. Clifton could benefit greatly with a very good run. Currently 6th at the moment. And that would be more than enough to put him in the top 16. So we've got a chain for the lead, potentially. No, we don't, because Miller comes back, goes from the top to the bottom and cuts down in front of Nichols. We look back here. Allen gets by Yassi. Here's Henry Gore in 9th. And 10th is William Brock in the number 1, looking to rebound after starting from pole at Pocono and crashing out very early in the piece. But, he's going to hold the position over Eli Bright. Good run for him right now in the 10th position. There's Denton. He's in 12th behind Bright. Dominic Anthony with his front end damage is in 13th. And then 14th is Mitchell Collins, who comes into this race 17th in points. He's behind Kelly Lee on tiebreaker. But at the moment, with Lee down the order a bit, would definitely jump ahead of the 76. So needs to continue this kind of run in this race. As you see Clifton up top, he's going to lose a position to Tristan Allen. You got, 2 cars on pit road. I think that was Stapleton and Yepes. I think. Could be wrong. We'll see here. Try and find them. Yeah, Yepes is definitely one of them. So he's actually going to be able to continue somehow. I don't know how. And the 97 is Stapleton. Also on pit road. He was one of those guys who got involved in the stack up early on. Here's Rogers. He is putting a lot of pressure here on Alexander Rowe. Of course, these two guys finished 1 and 2 at Bristol. I think, and Rogers just could not find a way around the 51. As look back in here, Nottingham Scott. Of course, he is a lap down. He has damage, but doing a decent job to hold off guys like Kean Rowley. Here's Yassi to the inside of his teammate Clifton. That is for the 7th position. Brock to the inside of Henry Gore for the 9th position. So good battles towards the back end of the top 10. And it looks like the 20 may get by his teammate here. And he does. He clears the 6. So Zakomi Yassi moves up into 7th. Rowley getting around Nottingham Scott. And Allen looking to do the same. And Allen, of course, coming into this race as a points leader. And now with Caesar out of this race, could really consolidate that top spot and put himself in a position to win that regular season championship, which does give you a lot of bonus points. Not going to disclose how many yet, but it does give you a lot more. So we'll see. Allen, though, in a good position as we look back up to the front here. Be careful. That's Simon Nichols going high. Is he going to get down to the bottom? Yes, he will. So Rowe gave him the space there to get to the inside of the 12 of Natavio, who is, of course, now a lap down, involved in that early yellow with Nottingham Scott. And the number 12 is Day. Well, it's been a rough year for him. His rookie year. But his day is done, pretty much. And back up to the front. And Miller has pulled out a gap on his teammate Simon Nichols. It's just about half a second as it currently stands. 4/10. So doing a good job. The 48 took the lead on pit road and hasn't given it up, as we got a battle for third though. Rowe will give up the 3rd position here to Rogers, and he will get him. So Rogers moves past Rowe, that's for 3rd. Rowe will fall back to 4th, but the top 4 have checked out from Kean Rowley in 5th and beyond. So currently is the way it's going. It'll be one of these 4. Looks pretty good for one of these 4. There's Rowley, he's in 5th. Allen, Scott's a lap down. There's Clifton, he's in 7th. Yassi under a lot of pressure from Willie Brock, and Colin Denton now trying to get to the inside of the 20. And well, Denton was kind of in the same ballpark as Simon Nichols in points and needs a good run to really consolidate that chase position right now. That number 21 currently running in the 9th position, or at least trying to get up to the 9th position, as Yepes they are starting to run up on. And to the inside, Miller will get the 47 right here. Nichols trying to follow through, although, yeah, Pear's just driving around on the outside. I think, I think it would have been because he did pit, obviously, earlier on, so that would certainly help the cause. Nichols trying to follow through with your Pears, and we got another yellow. Front straightaway, that is Carter Friesen. And Brandon Nelson also with damage in the 44. Be careful, be careful, be careful. And just be careful, just be careful. And everybody's going to get by it, thankfully, which is good to see. But, Friesen's had a really tough run of form in the last few races. And this one, no exception. With a lot of front end damage as well. And here we go, we're going to have another round of pit stops. So Miller this time leading down Nichols. Followed by Rogers, who's a long way back, and then Rowe. So we'll see what happens here in terms of strategy. We saw Nichols took 2. And I think Miller took 2 as well in the last round. We'll see. I think they might take... I have a feeling they might take 4 this time. But we'll see. We might see them take 2. I don't really know, to be honest. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to follow with Nichols here. And you see that's William Brock behind. Right sides definitely. And it looks like it'll be left sides as well. So 4 tyres and fuel. And it will be Miller. Once again, winning the race off of pit road. Good start for the 48 team. Nichols in second. Then Rogers, Rowe, and Kean Rowley. That's your top 5 off of pit road. Miller still the race leader. Let's take a look at what happened to trigger the 3rd caution of the day. Well, 3 wide again, and this time it's not off of turn 2, it's off of turn 4. Brandon Nelson too high, gets into the wall, and then straight down into Friesen, who just turns him sideways. And they just keep going on with it for a minute. You see Friesen gets a bit more front end damage there. Nelson actually gets it back going straight, but Friesen goes through the grass and he is not so fortunate. But a lot of the damage already coming from the hit with Nelson, but he does back it into the wall with the right rear. Just gets a little bit more damage just to compound his woes. Been one of those. It's been a rough run for Friesen. He's finished. He's had a few races in a row where he's had DNFs, and once again out of the race, or at least certainly out of contention for a good result early in the piece, and that's a tough break for him. And here's another look, real time, and just sliding through the grass there. Just gets a little bit. But tough break for the 46 and the 44 of Nelson. Not been a great year for Nelson either, for that matter. Looking to try and get back into the top 35 in points, and certainly not going to help his cause. And then everyone did a good job getting through there. But anyways, Dawson Mills, the race leader, he will take you back to the 3rd restart of the day. Coming back to the green this time, the number 48 of Dawson Miller is the race leader. Simon Nichols 2nd, Jake Rogers 3rd, Alexander Rowe in 4th, and Kean Rowley rounding out the top 5. The 2 guys ahead, you see there, Nathan Stapleton and Diego Yepes, both involved in wrecks early on. They are multiple laps down, so they are not on the lead lap. These guys will be lapped when we go back to green. So 3 cautions early on, and this will be the 3rd restart of the day. Still a long way to go in this race, and we've already had a couple round of pit stops, so we'll see how it plays out by the end. The pace car's on pit road, and while it's not the first in the queue, Dawson Miller will lead the field back to green. And green flag, we're back underway. Oh, whoa. To the outside goes Miller, to the inside goes Nichols, and he's going to take the lead away. And Rowe's going to follow it through. Into the wall goes Miller. And he keeps it straight. Everyone kept it straight. My goodness, that could have gotten really ugly. So Nichols now leads. We've got another yellow. They didn't keep it straight. Big hit for Yepes. Colin Denton involved. I think that was Otavio. It was in the 12. Christian Vargas and Clifton, I think. It was Noah Clifton who was also involved in the number 6. My goodness, I thought they got through it cleanly, but they did not. And it started with Dawson Miller in the 48 bouncing off the outside wall. He tried to get around the 47 on the outside lane on the restart, and it did not pay off. The 4th yellow of the day. And we're going to have another round of pit stops. Everyone's coming down. This will probably just be for fuel if I had to guess. But Nichols and Rowe went to the bottom. Rogers actually got held up a little bit in the 98, so he's fallen back a lot. But, I mean, you got Nichols, Rowe, Allen, those guys, a lot of those guys that are now up towards, well, in the top 5, a lot of them were on the inside lane, so they were the big winners there. But Nichols in particular, he's led a lot of the early laps in this race. He gets the lead back. But you see, he will win the race off of pit road. But man, what a crazy restart. Alexander Rowe, followed by Kean Rowley, Tristan Allen, and Rogers. That's your top 5. Crazy restart. Yellows breed yellows. Simon Nichols is the race leader. Let's take a look at what happened to bring the 4th caution out here at Rockingham. Well, it was Dawson Miller going to the outside of Diego Yepes that cost him the lead, and it kind of started the accident here. And you'll see they're 4 wide at Rockingham. Somehow they didn't wreck straight away, but they did eventually. Miller's going to bounce off this outside wall on the 48, so not only does he lose the lead, but he also gets a significant amount of damage on the right side. And then the 21 of Colin Denton, he slides down a little bit to avoid the 48. That's okay, he keeps it straight, but when he heads off into turn 3, for some reason he will go down to the apron, like Red in the Sip was on earlier on, and he'll dive down, and there it goes to the inside, onto the apron, and then we'll come back up the racetrack, and Clifton, trying to get around, will get into the right rear and turn him hard into the fence, and then Clifton, driver's side, into Colin Denton's driver's side, and then Yepes also with nowhere to go. But then coming down the racetrack, this is where Christian Vargas will get a piece of it right there. Big time hit. And destroys what's left of the rear of the 47, and then in comes the 12. Not much he could have done about that. The 47 sliding down the racetrack. And lots of damage to Vargas, lots of damage to Notavio, Yepes, Colin, Denton, and Clifton. All the significant players. And Clifton and Denton, that is bad for their chase hopes. And that will put them much more at risk. But for Denton, much more at risk of falling out is taken on board with him here. Oh, that is a violent angle. And then he got compounded by Clifton on the driver's side. Violent crash for Colin Denton in the 21. Here's Noah Clifton's on board. Ugh, jeez. Big time hit. And then look at the hit behind for Yepes too. Also quite bad. And tough break for them. And here's Dawson Miller's on board. You see, it's Stapleton going to the inside, so Miller, I reckon, goes to the outside because he's faster than Stapleton. So he's already alongside the 97, so can't really do much. He doesn't want to be stuck behind the 47, so he goes to the outside and bounced off the wall, obviously, and then bang! My goodness, that's a that's a violent hit. That is a violent hit for Denton in particular. Couple of violent hits. Now watch this. Off into turn 3. Bang! That's a really bad angle. And he was accelerating, I think, too, before he got into the fence. And then those guys on the bottom, like Notavio and Vargas, they've had bad days and those have come to an end. But for Clifton, his day is done. He was in the top 10, but his day is officially done, and those guys as well. And Denton also running around the top 10. His day very much done. Tough break for all those guys involved. Simon Nichols is the race leader. Let's take you back to the restart. Coming back to the green this time, Simon Nichols is the race leader. Obviously took the lead away from Dawson Miller under that last restart. Now he leads over Alexander Rowe, followed by Kean Raleigh, Tristan Allen, and it's William Brock ahead of Jake Rogers. So that's 1 through 6. And hopefully this time we can make it through a green flag lap. We've got 3 lap guys ahead. Stapleton again, Nottingham Scott, and Brandon Nelson in the 44. So we'll have to deal with them along the way. But hopefully we can get through without too much drama on this restart. The pace car's back on the pit road, and it'll be Nichols who will lead us back to the green. 4th restart of the day. We are back underway. Down the back, Nichols trying to get to the inside of Nelson, who's actually the leader, apparently. That's my bad, I didn't realise that. And these are sliding up the racetrack a little bit. Oh, and Stapleton's pitting, and we have another yellow. Another caution. Addison Steinbach and Austin Johnson. So Stapleton pitting in the 97. I don't know why he wouldn't have done it under the yellow. But came down and pit, and that stacked the field up. You see Eli Bright's moved up as a result, Charlie. Davenport back in there as well. So because of the Stapleton stack up. So there you go. Another yellow though. 5th of the day. Let's take a look at what happened. Simon Nichols is the race leader, as you see back in here. Down to the top 5. Simon Nichols race leader. Let's take a look at what happened. Well, once again, it was 3 wide that did in Addison Steinbach. You see, he's in trying to. He's got Cody Smart to the inside, but he will get to the inside here of Gerard Oren in the 91, whose car is so damaged. I'm surprised it's still out there, to be honest. He's on the lead lap, by the way, Gerard Oren. But anyways, he bounces off the wall, comes down into Addison Steinbach, and then Steinbach will come down into Austin Johnson, and then they are angling towards the wall, and bang! Big time hit for both cars, with Austin Johnson on his side. That's straight up on his side. Completely on the right side. But Steinbach's certainly getting a lot of front end damage in the process as well, and that will hurt him. And 2 guys that probably aren't going to make the chase anyway, so just looking for the best results they possibly can. Here's real time. Bang! Right there. Lots of damage on both cars, and their race is pretty much over as a result. A tough break for both of them. Simon Nichols in the number 3 is still the race leader. Let's take you back to the 5th restart of the day. Coming back to the green this time, it'll be the 5th restart of the day, which, by the way, the most in a race this year, the most amount of yellows in a race has been 3. So, been a bit of a crazy race in one of the shorter races on the schedule this year. But anyways, Nichols is the leader, Rose in 2nd, William Brock, Eli Bright is now in 4th, and Kean Raleigh in 5th. And we've still got a bunch of race left, so still plenty of time for things to happen. But I think these guys can make it on fuel. It is now comes down to hopefully we get back to green flag racing this time for a lap at least. Before another yellow, so we'll see here what will happen. But I think these guys make it on fuel. We'll have to wait and see though. Simon Nichols is the race leader, and the green flag is back out. 5th restart of the day. Down the back, good restart for Nichols. Not the best one he's had all day, but still good enough to give himself a little bit of a gap between himself and Alexander Rowe. Here's Willie Brock. He's in 3rd. And at the moment in a very good position to put himself in a position to put himself in the top 16 again. With Clifton out, Lee involved in accidents. I mean, got a pretty good position back in here. And here's another guy that really needed a good run today. Started 37th, That is Richard Fridge in the 26. He's up trying to get past Tristan Allen. As you see, Bright got the wrong season. Eli Bright to the inside and Rally trying to make it 3 wide. Unable to do so. But that is Eli Bright in Alexander Rowe's former car. But Alexander Rowe, of course, a car ahead of him. They're side by side here for third. Well, Bright and Brock is. They're side by side for the third position. But Brock, once again, that outside lane proving once again that it is the preferred line to, for the most part, to make moves. However, you see Rogers actually breezes by Kean Rally for 5th. Looks like Brock might be able to hold on here, and he does. So Brock holds on to 3rd, Brian 4th, Rogers. Here's Fridge. He has gotten around Tristan Allen. He's up into 7th. He has made up 30 positions in this race. That is a very good performance by the driver, number 26, who needs to continue to have good runs like this if he wants to make the chase. Here's Rowe. He's now trying to get back at Simon Nichols here and potentially try and take this lead away. But Nichols, the only time, of course, he did get past on the racetrack was for the lead was, of course, on pit road. So no one's really been able to get around this number 3. We'll see if Alexander Rowe can do it. They're going to be, well, Rowe's not going to make the move yet. Bright's all over the back of William Brock. So a couple of good battles here in that top 5. And I think Rowe, I should say, should make the move right now. He won't. He'll still hold on. Still plenty of time. It's only lap 52 of 79. So still so much racing to go. Now Bright's going to go to the inside here. This is for 3rd. You see the right side damage he has gotten. It doesn't hold him back at all. He's up into 3rd. And now Rogers to the inside of Brock. That's for 4th. And can he hold on? Looks like he'll get him here. So Rogers up into the 4th position. Brock back into the 5th position. I think that was Benny Watson in the outside wall just a bit. Coming to 26 laps to go this time. So still so much racing left. The Rowe is there. He just needs to find the right place to make a move. But don't look now. Here comes Bright. And Rogers and Brock behind him as well. The top 8 cars really within striking distance. Allen and Rowley and Fridge a bit far back. But certainly the top 5 within striking distance right now. There's Rowley. He's under a lot of pressure from Richard Fridge. And Rowe is putting a lot of pressure on Nichols for the lead. He will not make the move yet. But we'll see here. He does look very racy in the Sirius XM Toyota. But Nichols... And for Nichols, it'll be his first win in 33 starts. It has been a while. As here we go. Rogers now to the inside of Eli Bright. That's for 3rd as we got another caution. Another yellow, and it's another wreck on the backstretch. And it's Scott and Charlie Davenport. And Davenport, who pitted under the last caution for fuel, involved in a late race accident. And the caution is out. Nichols won the race back to the line. I think Rogers got 3rd. Yes, he did. He got around Eli Bright. So Bright to 4th, Rogers to 3rd, but Nichols is still the leader. Let's take a look at what happened to bring out the 6th caution of the day. And once again, I've seen this plenty of times before, and once again, 3 wide causes an accident, and it's Scott. Once again, this is the second time Nottingham Scott has gone up into the outside wall. And he comes down, and this time he gets turned by Davenport, who gets turned by Jamie Rose, and right front, right rear, into the wall for Scott, and then the rear as well for Davenport. That's a tough break for Davenport. Not the result he wanted, and certainly not the result Nottingham Scott wanted either. That's a tough break for both of them. Their days, well, whatever. Well, Scott was already multiple laps down, but Davenport had a good run going, but he had to pit for fuel and now involved in a late race accident to trigger the yellow. And here's a real-time look at it right there, into the wall. And they'll be able to continue. They'll salvage some points, but it won't be great results. A tough break for them. But anyways, Simon Nichols is the race leader. Let's take you back to the green. The 6th restart of the day. Coming back to the green this time, it'll be the 6th restart of the day, which doubles the most we've had in any other race this year. We had 3 cautions in, which is the most for a race this year until this one. 6 on the day. These guys have been very chaotic, but Nichols has led a lot of the race. He is the leader. Rowe is in second, Rogers in third, then Eli Bright and William Brock. That's your top 5, and really there's still a lot to go down in these next about 20-ish laps remaining. But Nichols has been hard to pass. The only time he has been passed has been on pit road. So, and then of course he got back by Dawson Miller. So we'll see how the end of this race goes. We'll see if we get another yellow as well. Green flag is back out and we are underway once again. Decent restart for Nichols, but would have liked a little bit more of a gap. Rogers was thinking about a move to the inside of Rowe, but couldn't get it done, and now Rowe is closing in. You see he's on the back. He got a pretty good run through turn 4. He might try and make the move right this time. He does, to the inside for the lead. Goes Alexander Rowe to the inside of Nichols. Side by side, down the back straightaway. Can Nichols hold on? Well, he will. He's going to cut down in front of the 51 of Rowe. And then Rogers, the watching brief, in third. Well and truly in this race. 18 laps to go. Now it's a matter of Rowe is there. He's been that's the first time he's tried to make a move happen in this race. And there it goes again. To the inside for the lead. Can he get him? Nichols is trying to hold on that outside lane. At the stripe, it is Nichols, I think. To the inside behind goes Eli Bright in the 95. Rowe trying to get by the 3. Can he? I think he's going to clear him, and he does. Alexander Rowe moves to the lead for the first time today. Rogers under a lot of pressure from Eli Bright in the 95. He's going to go for third. Nichols falls back to second. Now, can he get back around Alexander Rowe? That is the question, as we have got about, 16 laps to go in this race. So still plenty of time for Nichols to make a move. But Bright got a very good run through turn 2. He might try and make a move to the inside of Nichols here. And Nichols will cut him off. Rogers stuck on the outside lane. But Bright is really sizing up that number 3. And he might... it's not quite close enough to make a move. Rogers is going to go up high once again. I was going to say he's going to hold him to 4th, but he ended up going high once again. And Brock tries to make a move to the inside, but he can't. So Rogers does, in fact, hold on to 4th. So Alexander Rowe now leads. He's got a bit of a gap too. 0.3 of a second. I think it'll be more here at the stripe this time. And Bright and Rogers are trying to move their way up. And speaking of moving his way up, Richard Fritsch to the inside of Kian Raleigh. This is for 6th. They're going to be side by side off into turn 3. Raleigh could not close the door. Is up ahead. Rogers to the inside of Bright. This is for 3rd. Off into turn 1. Yeah, I think the 98. Can he hold? He's going to hang in there. Can Bright hang in there on the outside? We've seen the outside lane has got a pretty good run at times. Can he hang in there? Could not. Was not nowhere near close enough to clearing him. And Rogers drives it past. So Rogers now up into 3rd. Gets back around Eli Rowe. Those two guys have had a pretty good battle in the last few laps. But Rowe holding about a 0.4 of a second lead right now. Rogers has already gone onto the back of Nichols. And they're going to be battling. I think Rogers might try and make a move. He got a decent run, but although he just got a little bit squirrely off the turn. Had to get out of the gas a little bit, and that hurt his run off. Hurt his exit. But if he wants to try and get this win, he's got to make a move now. We've got 11 laps to go. Addison Steinbach is the lap car. We'll be approaching him very shortly. Rogers drove it a little bit higher, got the run through the turn, and he might try and make the move right here, I think. Got a pretty good run to the inside. Can he get past Nichols? He's got a decent run through turns 1 and 2. They're going to be side by side down the back straightaway. But I think Rogers is going to get him here. And he does. He clears. And Nichols clears Bright for third. So good job by Nichols to get back without causing an accident there. Not lose too much ground. But Rowe leads in the number 51. Rogers now in second. And we'll have to wait and see. I think Rogers are going to give Rowe a little bit of a challenge. It's 5/10 of a second. You see some 3 wide back in here. Zucuma Yassi bounced off the wall. Dominic Anthony, Dawson Miller, Benny Watson, Jack Porkins all back in there. That's about just on the outsides of the top 10. There's Fridge. He's going to make a move to the inside here. This is for 5th. This has been one of the best performances I've seen from Richard Fridge in his career. This is a fantastic drive from 37th on the grid. At a track that's been very hard to pass. That is impressive. There's Steinbach in the 53. They're going to be catching up to him. He's already a lap down and we put 2 laps down. And we have gotten 7 laps to go. So now it's a matter of, can Rogers close in? Because Simon Nichols is under a lot of pressure back in there. Can Rowe hold him off? There's Brian. You see back in here, Fridge trying to get by William Brock. They're still side by side. It's a good battle between these two guys. And Fridge trying to... You see Brock getting that run on the high side. Able to keep himself in there. Bright all over the back of Nichols. They've caught up to Addison Steinbach. Rose already got around him. Rogers is getting around him. And I think that has hurt the 98 just a bit. I think that's slowed him down just enough. And it's given Alexander Rowe enough of a lead right now. Coming to 5 laps to go. Alexander Rowe would be his 4th win of the year. Nichols to the inside of Steinbach. Bright to the inside of Steinbach. He's well off the pace, so he's not really... Although you can see Henry Gore back in there on the outside lane. Rock and Fridge are going to get by. They're going to be side by side here. I think Allen on the inside, Gore on the outside, and I thought Gore was going to make a move to the inside of the 53 and potentially get into it with Kean Rally, but did not. And then there's Miller. He's going for 9th position as Bright goes for 3rd, and Rogers is closed in just a bit. It was 5/10 a lap ago. It's now 4.5, but that's still not really. That's still not close enough to make it happen. 3 laps to go. Alexander Rowe is going to get looks like he'll get his 4th win of the year. Gifford Treninko should say, have never had a season in which all 4 of their cars have won a combined 4 races. Well, actually, that's not true. They had the last, was it season 3, season 4? I don't remember which one, but certainly one of those years they had 4 wins. Well, this will be their 5th of the season within 12 races, which is a phenomenal effort. 2 laps to go, although Rogers is making a bit of a run at him. It's 0.32 of a second. These guys have checked out on Eli Bright. He's in 3rd, but he's well and truly out of this one. Coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go here in the Rheem 300. It looks pretty good for Alexander Rowe. It'll be his 3rd win of the year. His 4th win of the year, and the 4th of his career. Rogers trying to close. He's not close enough. He lost a bit of ground on the last lap. And it was a patient drive. It was a patient drive for Alexander Rowe. He fell back behind Nichols and had to wait for a while to get by him, but eventually he did, and Alexander Rowe gets the reward. He wins the Rheem 300, his 4th win of Season 5, getting the job done over Jake Rogers by about 2.5 4th win of the season. How about Alexander Rowe and Gifford Treninko getting the job done? It is Gifford Treninko's 5th win of the year. As a team, it would be... This would be their 14th. As their 14th as a team. And a well-deserved win for Alexander Rowe. His 4th of the year. He finishes ahead of Rogers in 2nd. Eli Bright, Simon Nichols, who led the majority of the laps in that race, he ended up 4th, and Fridge ended up in 5th, by the way. So, unbelievable performance. 32 positions gained for Fridge, but no one was better than Alexander Rowe today. He wins the Rheem 300. Brock in 6th, Tristan Allen, Kean Rally, Henry Gore, And Dawson Miller ended up in 10th. What could have been for him, to be honest, after hitting the wall on a restart. Anthony, Yassi, Watson, Hawkins, Mitchell Collins with a very good 15th place run. Needed that. Over to the next page, Cody Smart in 23rd, Jamie Rose 24th, Kelly Lee 26th. All kind of around that chase bubble. Not the results they were looking for, and certainly for a lot of these guys back in here. Particularly guys like Colin Denton and Noah Clifton, both out of the race. Julio Sears, Brendan the Sip rounded out the field in the 41st and 42nd position. And we have our first driver officially locked into the chase. Tristan Allen has locked himself in. He will be going to the chase for the 5th time in 5 seasons. He's 33 ahead of Keen Rowley, 437 points. 38 ahead of Dawson Miller, who's now in 3rd. But then over to the next page. This is the battle. The page that's really important. Richard Fridge, 24 ahead. Colin Denton, 11 ahead. Mitchell Collins now into the top 16. Kelly Lee falling out because of her bad day today. And then over to the next page. These guys not really in it, to be honest. But Smart 21 back, not complete. Still very much in the game there. But Yassi 45, a sip, took a big hit today. Lost 27 points on Mitchell Collins. And then back in here, all these guys' seasons are pretty much done at this point. They're probably not going to make the chase. A tough break for them, but these guys are trying to get themselves into the top 35 and under points. And then the bottom 4 guys here, Andrews, Xavier, Fabian, and Harris, all officially eliminated from chase contention. Thank you so much for watching the Rheem 300 at the Rockingham Speedway, the 12th race of the season. We will see you next time at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Coca-Cola 600. We will see you there.